Good morning, and welcome to Unity of Kent Sunday service for July 12th, 2020. My name is Reverend Patty Becker, and it is my joy to be the spiritual leader of this community of Unity of Kent. Our worship assistant this morning is Leo Neal, and our musicians this morning are the wondrous Matt and Becky, and they will now open our service with the song, One Power.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning. One power, one power, one power. There's one power, it's invisible, and you see it everywhere and every day. There's one power indescribable, and you speak of it with every word you say. It's mysterious until you know the truth. It's as simple as the love inside of you. Call it God, call it Spirit, call it Jesus, call it Lord, call it Buddha, Baha'u'llah, angels' wings or heaven's doors. But whatever name you call it, it's one power, can't you see? Power of the love in you and me. One power, one power, one power. We speak so many languages, different clothing, different colors, different names. But different is only dangerous when we forget that in the heart we're all the same. We'll remember once we close our eyes to see that such distances were never meant to be. Call it God, call it Spirit, call it Jesus, call it Lord, call it Buddha, Baha'u'llah, angels' wings or heaven's doors. It's Muhammad, it's your mind, it's the soul or it's your sign. It's the universe, it's music, Mother Earth, the Father Time. But whatever name you call it, it's one power, can't you see? Whatever name you give it, it's the very air we breathe. It's the power of the love in you and me. One power, one power, one power, one power, one power, one power. It's that moment of creation. It's an everlasting peace. It's the freedom of forgiveness. It's the sweetness of release. It's the joy of inspiration. The sunshine on your face. It's the birthright of all nations. It's the boundlessness of space. It's the beauty of a baby. The serenity of sleep. It's the anger you abandon for its love that it's most deep. It's one power, 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 one power. It's the power of the love that lives forever in you and me. It's the power of the love in you and me. One power, one power,
Oh, that's great. Thank you. It's so good to have you, Becky and Matt. I'm I'm tempted to say you won't believe this, but you probably wouldn't believe it anyway. But in terms of the music, you guys, I was thinking of that song as an opening song, and I couldn't remember the name of it. And so when I communicated with you about songs this morning, I just said I absolutely trust your choices, and whatever you come up with will be perfect. And my gosh, there you are singing the song that I had in mind. So thank you very much. It's very uplifting for me. I love it. Well, good morning to all of you again. It's really wonderful to see your faces. I'm so glad that you've chosen to be with us this morning. Unity of Kent is an open and welcoming congregation, and we invite people of all races, creeds, colors, lifestyles to join us on the path of spiritual discovery. And we're on this path together, and we depend on one another and we support one another on this path. Unity promotes a philosophy of practical spirituality, and this spirituality is based on the teachings of Jesus as well as the core New Thought principles. We believe, and I believe, in each one of your spiritual authority and the spiritual authority innate in all of us. And I am absolutely convinced that by applying spiritual principles to our lives, as I experiment every day applying spiritual principles to mine, that we create a lived experience that is more and more good for ourselves and for the world. And so I would invite us all to prayer this morning. I will be closing my eyes just to minimize distraction. I invite you to do whatever it is that is most comfortable for you as a focusing tool to be fully present in this prayer time. So I'll just give a moment to relax into where you are and to take a deep breath. To know that there is one presence and one power, no matter what you call it. It is the divine essence that is the core of each one of us. That we are spirit, spirit expressing as human. And this morning we gather together to both remember and dedicate ourselves through commitment to the greater application of the spiritual truth, the truth of our oneness, not only the oneness of God, but the oneness of ourselves and one another in God. This morning, I know that you are here by divine appointment. There's no accident why you tuned in this morning. And I offer you this, that today, in something in the word, the music, meditation, is a gift for you, an insight, an experience, an aha, or an idea. And that this gift expands you and inspires you to apply yourself in a way maybe you've never have before in the intentional outpouring of your life. I am so grateful for this medium of the internet and Zoom that can bring us together over distances and provide us with a sense of support and continuity. So affirming, foundationing, and grounding ourselves in the luminous presence of God within and without. We say thank you and allow ourselves to feel the feelings of expanded gratitude for this moment at this time. And so it is. Amen.
Okay. It's me.
Open the eyes of my heart, Lord. Open the eyes of my heart. I want to see you. I want to see you. Open the eyes of my heart, Lord. Open the eyes of my heart. I want to see you. I want to see you. Sing that again one more time. Open the eyes of my heart, Lord. Open the eyes of my heart. I want to see you. I want to see you. Open the eyes of my heart, Lord. Open the eyes of my heart. I want to see you. I want to see you. To see you high and lifted up, shining in the light of your glory. Pour out your power and love as we sing holy, holy, holy. To see you high and lifted up, shining in the light of your glory. Pour out your power and love as we sing holy, holy, holy. Holy, holy, holy. Open the eyes of my heart, Lord. Open the eyes of my heart. I want to see you. I want to see you. Open my eyes, open the eyes of my heart, Lord. Open the eyes of my heart. I want to see you. I want to see you. To see you high and lifted up, shining in the light of your glory. Pour out your power and love as we sing holy, holy, holy. To see you high and lifted up, shining in the light of your glory. Pour out your power and love as we sing holy, holy, holy. Holy, holy, holy. Holy, holy, holy. Holy, holy, holy. Open the eyes of my heart, Lord. Open the eyes of my heart. I want to see you. I want to see you.
Good morning, everyone. I just thought I had to show you my new mask. I can't see you, but maybe you can see me. Somehow my video's not working. This technology is really starting to get to me. So anyway, good morning. Thank you for joining us on Zoom. And I hope you're having a great day. So today we're going to start with our statement of faith. There's one presence and one power in the universe and in my life. God, the good, omnipotence. I trust and align with that power of goodness now. So we're going to start with the announcements. Tuesday morning, Silent Unity Prayer Service at 10 a.m. and the Spirit Talk at 10 a.m. And all of these services, this prayer service, Spirit Talk, and other Zoom events can now easily be accessed on our calendar on the website. Just go to www.unityofkent.org, click the events button, and scroll to the calendar to the desired date and event. Click the event and the Zoom link will pop up. Well, mine didn't, but whatever. And Reverend Patty will be teaching a 4-week class beginning July 21st. It is called Living Beautifully with Uncertainty and Change, based on the book by the same name by Pema Chodron. Pema Chodron is an American Tibetan Buddhist. She is an ordained nun and the principal teacher at Gampo Abbey in Nova Scotia, Canada. I bought the book the other day and I'm halfway through it. It's really a good book. Her book, Living Beautifully with Uncertainty and Change, offers 3 commitments one can make to live more peacefully in a seemingly very crazy world. This class will explore those commitments and how one might practically apply them in their everyday life. This class will be offered over Zoom at 7 p.m. on Tuesdays from July 21st to August 11th and can be accessed via our calendar of events on our website. Love offerings will be accepted through Givelify, available at the bottom of the homepage on the website. And then on July 23rd, Rose Studer will be starting a 6-week book study based on Deepak Chopra's book, The 7 Spiritual Laws of Success. Learn to attract the life you want without any difficulty or mystery. Class will be held over Zoom on Thursdays from 6 to 7:30 p.m. And again, see our website for more detailed description and how to tune in. Excuse me. So today our virtue is marvelous. You all look marvelous, I guess. I can't see you. Marvelous is a marvelous quality of extraordinary excellence. A marvelous experience is splendid and magnificent. Marvelous as a character attribute reflects a personality that is remarkable and noteworthy. A marvelous perspective is one that sees the world and all it encounters as outstanding and enriching. And the affirmations are, I am marvelous, I am one of a kind, I am magnificent. My vision sees the highest and best in myself and in the world. And today the daily word is guidance. I am divinely guided. Guidance can be easy to find in the outer world. Maps and GPS technology can help me navigate my way just about anywhere. Everywhere I go, there are signs marking streets, adorning storefronts, and providing just about every kind of information and opinion imaginable. Spiritual guidance often is not as evident, but it is more valuable. This guidance can come to me as a persistent tug on my attention, as a gut feeling or intuition, or even as a dream as I sleep. I pay attention to the guidance I receive and step out in faith to move my steps in its direction. I know that the spirit of wisdom and love within me are always guiding me to blessings of greater peace, love, and prosperity. Make me to know your ways, O Lord. Teach me your paths. Psalm 25:4. Thank you. Remember to wear your mask, stay safe, and have a great day.
Now's the time when we share our prayer requests, and we started doing something different. And that is, if you have a prayer request, to unmute yourself and just share it with the community here, and then we will pray for all of those requests. So if anyone has a prayer request that you would like to share, if you do that now. I guess I should ask if you know how to unmute yourself.
I have one.
Oh, okay.
Can we hold Reverend Marla Mason in high consciousness for her great health?
Oh, absolutely. Okay. Reverend Marla. Anyone else? Well, if you have a prayer request, some desire or need in your life right now, just hold it in your heart and in your mind. And I would ask us once again to go into the realm of the fourth dimension of prayer by closing our eyes from the third dimension to eternity, that place of limitless perspective behind your eyelids. And we breathe into this space fully and intentionally. And as we exhale, we allow our shoulders to drop and our bodies to relax just where we are. Taking another breath. And now we notice what's going on in our minds, whether our thoughts are coming up in a jumble or in a distracted way. And just say to our minds, peace, be still. And without effort, to allow those images or that activity in mind just to move through. And then opening our hearts, being receptive, and affirming one presence, one power in my life, in the universe, in the lives of my loved ones, in the lives of all situations and circumstances. One presence, one power called by many names, the absolute ground of being in all creation. That I am one with this presence and power, and in this oneness and an expression of spiritual power that requires no effort. All that is required is an awareness of absolute good behind all things. And what we hold in prayer is not to change what is, but to change my view of the perfection that is behind all that I experience. Open my eyes that I might see. Open my ears that I might hear the voice of inner wisdom, that I might see the paths before me. And that I have the faith to let go and let God be God in everything that comes up. And so for Reverend Marla and for all of the concerns of our hearts, I unfold in the highest and best of self, not only for ourselves, but for all ourselves. And so it is. Amen.
Holy Father, Son, and Spirit, Holy Communion, three in one.
Holy Father, Son, and Spirit, Holy Communion, three in one.
Come with your peace, with your invitation, bind us together in holy love. Come with your peace,
With your temptation. Bind us together in holy love. Holy Father, Son, and Spirit, Holy Communion, three in one. Come with your peace, with your invitation, bind us together in three in one. Holy Father, Son, and Spirit, Holy Communion, three in one. Come with your peace, with your Son, and Spirit, bind us together in three in one. Holy Father, Son, and Spirit. Holy Father, Son, and Spirit. Holy Father, Son, and Spirit. Three in one, three in one, three in one.
Oh, thank you. That was great. When I was a kid, I must have been, well, in the years under like 12, I guess. Our family had a travel trailer, kind of a weekender deal, and we would go to state parks around the state and in other states as well. But anyway, we took trips, short ones, just for the weekend, and then when my dad had his vacation, we would take a longer trip. And one year we went to California, and in Northern California, we went through the redwoods, and I was just amazed at the redwoods. Look at those trees. They are huge. Coastal redwoods are among the oldest living organisms in the world. They can live for more than 2,000 years. And the oldest known living redwood was discovered not too long ago, and it was 2,200 years old. Redwoods are so tall that their tops are out of sight, that you could look up into the canopy and you can't see the tops of the trees. You could, because the distance is so great with all of the other branches sticking out. The tallest redwood known, that was recently discovered, was 380 feet tall. Now, one might think that such tall trees would require really deep roots, but that's not true. Their roots only extend down to 6 to 12 feet, but they can extend laterally outward from the base of the tree up to 100 feet. So their roots intertwine with other trees. And in this way, that all of the trees are holding up one another. And this provides the base of their stability and the strength. If any of you have not been to the redwoods and would like to experience being in the midst of such ancient, large trees in our own state, on Mount Rainier, we have the Grove of the Patriarchs. And either this summer or soon, I would encourage you to go and just be in the energies of these wonderful beings. The part that was so interesting to me about the redwoods is this extension of their root system so that they are all hanging on to one another. It so reminded me of our own spiritual community. And actually, it reminds me of all kinds of communities. that no matter how isolated we want to be, we need one another. Our interconnection and our interdependence, I think, has become so glaringly apparent in this time of COVID-19. When you stop to think of all of the different people that are necessary for what would be the most mundane task to accomplish, that it becomes like an avalanche of unbelievability of the number of and amount of support that we need. For a while, I was calling in my grocery list to be picked up. It was in like March, in the early parts of the isolation of the quarantine, and just the gas to get to the store, the employees to do the shopping for me, those that came out and delivered it to my car, the supply people bringing the groceries and other items to the store, and you can jump off there, and it would be hundreds of individuals that are involved in our simplest daily tasks. Learning about the elegant cooperation and interdependence of the Redwoods has helped me reflect on the individuals within our own church family. Each one of you contributes something very valuable to all of us. And each one contributes something very personal and enriching to me. Any group, church, or any other kind of gathering that is brought together around a purpose with a shared intent needs the participation and the involvement of all of its members. Not just for the carrying out of the things that need to be done or the contribution of monies to support it, but for the rich uniqueness that each one brings. We encourage one another, we appreciate one another, and we hold the highest and the best for one another. And for me, that's been very profound, and I've been very grateful to have been learning about the Redwood root system that has brought me to this point of appreciation for all of you. And so I am offering something for you this week, if you choose to accept it. I invite you to think of our spiritual community in that vein as well, and to think of someone or others, more than one, person or people in our spiritual community that has really made a difference to you in your life. Someone who has supported you, someone who has inspired you, someone who has encouraged you. And I would request that you reach out to them this week, either through email or a phone call, and to let them know the difference that they have made in your life at a personal level. And I have already done that with one person, and it was just a very heartwarming exchange, and I wish that heart warmth for all of you. Well, today my topic is 3 in 1, Trinity. The number 3 is a very powerful and interesting number. Spiritually, it represents divine wholeness, completeness, and perfection. Magically, 3 is a number of good fortune. Aesthetically, a flower arrangement of 3 blooms is much more pleasing than an arrangement of 2 or 4. Centuries before Christianity, the great goddess was the primary deity for humankind in the northern hemisphere. And she was represented by her 3 attributes of maid, mother, and crone. Pagans organize and celebrate the 3 elements of earth, sea, and sky. Our concept of time falls into 3 categories of past, present, and future. Our own lifetimes are viewed as birth, death, and rebirth. When we tell one another stories, there is a beginning, a middle, and an end. According to ancient mathematicians, 3 was the first true number. In the Islamic religion, a man can divorce his wife by simply saying, "I divorce you," 3 times. And many marriage vows contain the promises of love, honor, and obey, which has become love, honor, and support. The three-legged stool is the most stable piece of furniture you could have. And it is such a symbol of stability that it's used as a metaphor for models of organization and success for businesses, relationships, management, leadership, sustainability, churches, and many others. Tall orchard ladders have 3 legs. When I write descriptions, I more often than not use 3 examples, such as the sky looked big, broad, and blue. And speaking of blue, blue is one of the 3 primary colors from which all other colors are derived. In the Jewish tradition, the 3 patriarchs of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob are looked at as the founding fathers. And Christians look to the Father, Son, and Spirit as the divinely mysterious aspect of oneness called the Trinity. Many of us have come from traditional Christian environments where the Trinity was a powerful symbol. I know it was for me growing up Catholic. This symbol is both a representation of 3 and oneness and one. And that in that lies the mystery. How can it be 1 and yet 3? Unity's interpretation of Father, Son, and Spirit as the Trinity is metaphysically understood by unity as mind, idea, and expression. And lately in my talks, I've been explaining and relating quite a bit about mind, idea, and expression. The most practical value of understanding the Trinity in this way is simply that it involves all of the orderly energy sequences that result in manifestation, both desirable and undesirable. That this is the process of creation. This is it is also represented by the spiritual faculty of order. This sequence of energy that results in manifestation does so whether that outcome is desirable or undesirable. So remember, in working with Trinity and working with manifestation, we're working with a law, and that law is impartial. It doesn't judge. It really is incapable of caring. When we apply the law works whether the outcome for ourselves is good or challenging. But what affects the quality of our manifestation is not the process, rather it's the consciousness running the process. First in the Trinity is God, mind, the absolute, the unlimited, unconditional, transcendent, and eminent God. Divine mind consists of and ideates divine ideas. And 3 of those ideas we are very familiar with as omnipotent, omniscient, and omnipresent. Omnipotent is power. Omniscience is knowing. And omnipresence is being everywhere in everything equally at the same time. Divine mind does not have these qualities, but rather it is these qualities. The second part of the Trinity is the Word of God, and that is often called the Logos, or the Christ idea. All that has come into manifestation has done so through the activity of the Logos, or the Word, or the Christ. In the first chapter of the Gospel of John, we hear that all things come into being through him, and without him, not one thing came into being. That thing, that him, is represented in the traditional Trinity as Son. The Logos, metaphysically, is the Word, or the idea, or the creative energy behind manifestation, mind, idea, source, thought. It is the true life energy, this Logos, this manifestation of spirit, in all people, and it's why each person in truth is the consciousness and fundamental nature of the divine. It is what is behind being created in the image and likeness of God. The third aspect of Trinity is movement. The Holy Spirit represents this aspect. The Holy Spirit is the term we give to our experience of the activity of divine mind at the point of our awareness of it. And I think that's very important too. I want to say that again because and I'm going to say it slowly because it's really important to understand that the Holy Spirit, mind, idea, expression, or expression, the Holy Spirit is the term we give in unity to our experience of the activity of mind, of God, of Source, at the point of our awareness of it. And the point of our awareness of it would be its expression. You can't be aware of it before it expresses. As we recognize and live from the awareness of oneness, of mind, idea, and expression, as we live from this awareness of the process, our own expressions become more and more in alignment with divine mind because our consciousness is raised. So what we think about and what we want and what we desire becomes more and more in alignment with our highest mind. So the Trinity describes the reality of the creative process, not only in the universe, but also in our individual personal lives. And this is a process by which the divine idea is manifested first in consciousness and then in physicality. So the Trinity is symbolic of the process whereby the invisible and formless becomes manifested form. And that's the point at which we interact with it in our physical lives. So understanding this process and using this process is crucial to how we create our lives. That's our choice, that's our decision, and that's where our power lies. What we manifest in our life is determined by our individual level of consciousness. Through prayer and meditation, we become increasingly aware of our innate Christedness. And it's from this Christedness then that we make choices about how we want to use our power. The power is the creative process. The choice is how we use that creative process. And whether we are aware of it or not, we are always engaged in this process. Through prayer and meditation, we become more conscious of our thinking, more conscious of our desires, more conscious of where we want our lives to go so that we can use this process of mind, idea, and manifestation purposefully and intentionally. Wow, lots of things there, lots of big ideas, things to ponder. And so I would encourage you, if you have any ponderings about today's talk, to join me on Spirit Talk, where we engage with these ideas that I present on Sunday in a more personal and detailed way. But for now, mind, idea, and manifestation, and I'd like to take that, or Father, Son, and Spirit, source, divine mind, idea, what we think of, or it could be desire, spirit, movement, breath, ruach. It's what we breathe life into things. We breathe when we set our focus on a desire, or when we have a project in mind that we want to complete. We breathe our life into it. We focus on it. We make it our priority. And in doing so, our attention then drives the manifestation into our physical world through form for our use. So let's take these ideas into meditation. So once again, I encourage you to close your eyes and just relax. No need to figure, mostly just to percolate, to drip, to sponge, just to hold. One presence, one power in the universe and in my life. One presence and power, my life living itself in expression as me. What a profound truth. What a profound realization. One presence, one power, expressing itself as my life. That each one of us holds within us incredible power. Incredible, incredible power. The power of manifestation. What's in our consciousness? What's in our mind? What are our tenets of life? What's our worldview? What's our universal view? The answers to those questions will help us to understand how the process is working and why we are experiencing what we are experiencing in our lives now. If in our life experience we are enjoying, expanding, and growing, it is the result of what we're holding in thought. If our life experience is hard, challenging, tedious, and heavy, what thoughts are we holding about ourselves? The truth is one presence, one power. Expressing as me right now. Filling me, inspiring me, radiating as me. And feel that radiance now. Feel it in your body. Give it a name, give it a color, give it a sensation. The radiance of God filling me. Enfolding me. Growing me. If this radiance of divinity as you is expressing as a light or a color, see that light and color flowing throughout your body. If you are connecting with the divine radiance of your spiritual life as a sensation, make that sensation bigger. If you are sensing divine radiance as you, as peace, well-being, sink into the peace. Yield to the well-being and let yourself be held. God as me is the spirit of wisdom, of love, of guidance, of peace, of prosperity, of wholeness, of health. God as me, the wonder and the delight. God as me is not a static realization, but it is an activity of expression. So I claim that expression as my life and see it unfolding as my highest and best self. And so it is.
I sing a prayer with every name of God I know, so I can magnify the glory of the one, the God of light and shadow, the Spirit on the wind, the Father of creation, and the Mother of the sun.
I sing a prayer with every name of God I know, and every name's another window to the soul. Tell me your name and let me behold. So many faces of God, so many faces of God, so very beautiful, so very, very beautiful, so many faces of God, so many faces of God, so very beautiful, so very, very beautiful, so many faces of God, so many faces of God, so very beautiful, so very, very beautiful, so many faces of God, so many faces of God, so very beautiful, so very, very beautiful.
I thank you. I don't recall ever hearing that song before. That's really wonderful. Thank you. And what it does is it inspires me. I have a frame around my image, seems to be the biggest one on the screen. But there's images of all those of you who are attending, and I would encourage you just to go onto gallery view and to see many faces of God in our community. So now we move into our service of just a second. I have a message here. The score, okay, that has spotlighted your video for everyone. Would you like to unmute your microphone to speak? Somebody should shake their head so I can see whether you're hearing me. How about Lilma? No? Yeah? You can hear me? Okay. All right. Okay, then I'm just going to ignore that message. So this is a time of our service when we bless our love offerings. And once again, our love offerings can be given a number of ways, either mail in to the church or through Givelify on the website and PayPal. I personally use Givelify. I think it's just very efficient. I know some of others have commented how easy it is and how glad that they're using it. So our affirmation is that going to come up for us? Our affirmation for our love offerings? Well, anyway, you can say it with me. Divine love, expressing as me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, all that I receive, and all that I am. And so while the ushers are going around collecting those love offerings, I'd like to go back to Matt and Becky, who will sing us out.
You can join in on this one. You might know it. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God as creator, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be a moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me.
Thank you, Matt and Becky. It was great. And thank you all for joining in today. I hope you do something very fun and marvelous to be in alignment with our virtue for today. I think you are all marvelous. And so I have high hopes of the cloud cover burning off and the sun coming out later today. So blessings to you, and may you move through the rest of your day with grace and light and all things marvelous. All right. Have a good day. Bye.